Welcome everybody to Rob's MetalWorks tonight. We find ourselves once again here at the home studio to deliver the best that San Antonio has to offer, and our endeavors never stop. And tonight I'm super stoked to bring you a band that I discovered earlier this year, and really one of the bands that have kind of broken the mold of what I deliver here on the program, just because they're so fresh and young and new to the scene, but yet still kicking ass enough to capture my attention, enough to bring them here to you tonight. I bring you the band called Bad Blood. Here are the gentlemen. Welcome, guys, to the show. We've been chatting for a little bit, and it's been great to kind of get to know a little bit more about you. So that's kind of where I want to start off. Obviously, if I was new to the band, I'm sure there's a lot of people even here in our scene who may be new to Bad Blood. For those people who haven't run across your singles yet. So let's start about talking about the formation of Bad Blood. How did you guys kind of come together?
Well, it really started about a year and a half ago. Me and these guys here basically grew up together. We've known each other for 12 years, 11 years, something like that. And one day it just kind of clicked. Me and Izzy were talking. I had just left the previous band I was in. He wasn't doing anything at the time. And we just kind of said, hey, let's start something up. And we just kind of started bouncing around ideas. Isaac ended up coming in after. We got Julian, our drummer from Austin. And it finally, stuff just started to kind of click. And it just, stuff sounded good. So we kept going with it.
Yeah. And even though this band is pretty new, you guys have experience in music, or else your shit wouldn't be so fat now. So really quickly, and like I said, we've been here talking, so I'm a remiss for all those people out there. Go ahead and introduce yourself, what you do in the band, and kind of while you do that, also share a little bit about your history in music.
I'm Zach. I sing, vocals, whatever you want to call it. Previous music I was into was I was in a band called Mirror Lake for a little while, and out of Houston. I was the first real band I was in, I would say, that actually started releasing music, playing live shows, stuff like that. So still kind of green, only a few years experience, but it kind of got me where I am now. So, it was a good experience.
My name is Izzy Rael. I play guitar, and I actually do a lot of like co-producing and stuff like that as well. I have the pleasure of being in a bunch of different bands here in San Antonio, from Speak for the Silent, The Fall of September. That goes back to like 2012. We recorded with Chris Crummett. So I had a lot of, stuff under my belt to be able to get me to where I was today.
Sure.
With those experiences, we were able to play Warped Tour. I've recorded with even producers in like pop music. I'm a vocalist as well, so I've recorded with people like Seth Munson. Just pretty much, I'm all over the place as far as music goes. I'm not just here just in metal,
Yeah, that's cool.
I love so much different music. So
I think that's kind of cool because, and we're gonna get into this in a little bit, but when I hear kind of Bad Blood's music, I can hear a whole bunch of different lot of elements and stuff, where like I know that straight metal guys probably couldn't be as diverse. So that's great, man. I think that adds to your palette and what you can deliver too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm Isaac. I play the bass. As far as music, I played in a band with Izzy like years ago. That was when I was like little. I played bass in that too. And other than that, yes, don't even. That story is not for now. But other than that, I don't really. I do like a little rap project besides.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Other than that, that's all I do, really.
Yeah.
That's a big part of Bad Blood.
Yeah, it really is. It's funny because the way I joined is we were sitting on the couch and he was showing me Malevolence, and I was like, y'all need anybody else? I was like, I just want to be part of it. It sounds cool. Like,
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's kind of cool, because when I interview young cats like you guys, even though the guys that I'm interviewing are into metal, and doing heavy shit like you guys, I always hear dudes say like, yeah, I'm into hip hop too. I like rap and stuff.
I feel like they go hand in hand.
Yeah. I go way back with old school hip hop like NWA and Ice Cube. Yeah, old school shit like that. But it's always kind of been hard for me to kind of put the two together. But some people can do it really well, and that's cool, man. That's really cool. And again, I think that adds to like what you can deliver on the heavy side too. And And Izzy, I do want you to elaborate a little bit on that. How you kind of said how when we get there about how you can kind of blend that into what you guys are delivering with Bad Blood, because as I was telling you before we started rolling, I'm just a big fan, man. And when I said kind of unprecedented, I really don't interview bands who have a couple singles out and that's really it. Usually bands I kind of feel, I kind of have to earn their spot on Rob's and kind of release a record or two, and then they kind of get better, and then I think they're at a point where I really like what they're doing and can deliver them. And I remember the first time, and I think it was you, Izzy, who sent me Fadeaway, your first single, released back in February, that I was just like, holy smokes, this is really fucking cool. And I dug it, and I remember listening to it and just jamming to it and really enjoying it a lot. And I was like, man, these guys are great. And then when Trauma Cell came out, your second single, I was sold. I was like, okay, these guys are 2 for 2. Okay, we got to do something. So talk a little bit about what you're delivering musically. What was the idea? Because I know you guys are kind of like at a new place now with the band.
Yeah, definitely. So one of the biggest things is obviously collaborating with Coco. He's an amazing producer, and I think what he brings to the table is...
Tell people who Coco are, because maybe they don't know.
Coco was the drummer to Upon and Burning Body, to say. But I really like to focus him as being the producer, just because that's what he's doing now. Sometimes he doesn't like us bringing up Upon a Burning Body because he doesn't want it to be only known by
He was the first original drummer?
Yes. Yeah.
You see the guy with the big ear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, working with him has been great. We've been able to collaborate and really, he brings stuff to the table. And, it may be parts where, we have already got a song written before we even get to the studio. Like I said, I produce as well. So we kind of send things back and forth. And then we just kind of put those finishing touches, which really makes us... I think it separates us because we have that talent here where we can actually trust each other and know that, hey, when this person does his part, it's gonna be, knock it out of the park. And then I know Isaac, and he says he's just a rapper, but that's huge for us too, because a lot of these have a little bit more like intricate patterns with vocals, and it's not just your normal, singing. It has these cool, I think, almost like hip hop like vocal styles as far as the patterns go. So he brings a lot to the table. Even when it comes to lyrics, Zach's killing it on lyrics, but then we also collaborate. We talk about what's going in our head, and it's not... What I really love about this project is like everybody's involved. Julian's involved. Like, we set up the kid in the studio, and we're throwing ideas out, like everybody. And I think that what makes this project great is everybody's involved as far as in the creative process.
That's great.
And everybody, they got stuff under their belt, so it's not like you said, like we came out swinging for the fences, because we have that, we have that history, we have that background, and we've been molded to be able to be where we're at right now, where we don't have to necessarily grind it out. We've done that. We played at the Rabbit with no people. We played at the 1011 when it was there, and we played 2 people in the crowd, and then we kind of, I feel like we've earned our spot here now to be able to not have to hopefully go back to doing that, but reach for higher potential, and really with the history that we have, start out pretty much at the top. And
sure.
That's what we want to do.
We'll have a conversation about that, a side conversation maybe later, because I think that the way that you market the band and how you want to position the band, how you position the band, not letting the market do that for you, plays a big role in the perception out there. And obviously you guys are like I mentioned just a little while ago, at a new place. And I remember while I was getting prepared for this evening, I saw something on your social media that said kind of the new and improved Bad Blood. So what do you kind of feel has kind of been the transition from the old Bad Blood to the new Bad Blood? What's the difference now?
I think the difference really is just trying to, instead of go more of one direction and keep that same direction throughout the lifetime of the band, we're really taking in each other's personal preferences as far as what everybody listens to, what everybody's influenced by, and just kind of trying to mesh it all into, one big pile of hopefully something that's good. But, as far as bringing in more kind of not outrageous influences, but different, like bringing in Isaac definitely helped us a lot more on the hip hop side of things, because that is something we do want to incorporate a lot more, and something we do have coming up in our newer stuff.
Yeah.
And just all around just keeping the influences fresh and not trying to keep bringing the same stuff to the table that was being brought, you know, in 2011, 2012. You know, we just don't want to do the same stuff over and over.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to keep it fresh and keep it fun, you know.
Any of you guys want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess on top of all of that, like, I think the influences that we bring to the table are different than everybody's. Like you said, like, we got some stuff coming out that's gonna just be different, you know. And I think what's cool is that we're truly invested in this project. I think we've all had projects in the past that we kind of, you know, we're just part of the puzzle, you know. And in these ones, we really
stepping stone.
Exactly.
Sure.
So I really feel that we are honing in on this, and it's something that we're truly excited about. At the end of the day, I mean, in music in general, I think if you're not excited about it, like, what are you doing it for? So I think this, at least for me, I can say this revamped my passion in music, just because it's the first thing that I've been able to say, like, I'm dedicated to this, and, like, it's something that I stick to, just because I truly see the vision at the end of the tunnel on this one.
You said something that resonated with me earlier, and you said, Rob, we're more mature now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think that kind of takes, you know, some failures and learning from past mistakes, and then you finally get to that place where you're like, okay, we kind of know what the fuck we're doing now.
Right. And, you know, it goes back, like, at the end of the day, I'm also a businessman, you know. So with those things, you know, you can't just take all of your failures and just put them in this box and just be like, man, I'm just a failure. You got to learn from them. If you're not learning from them, what are you doing? You have to constantly, like you said, stepping stones. Everything is a stepping stone. Everything that I thought that was going to be my big break at the end, now I just realized that was a stepping stone to get me to where I am today. Right.
So the band, when was the real return of the band? Because Fadeaway came out in February.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you guys kind of really start marketing the kind of new Bad Blood? Was it in 2020 during the pandemic?
It was more 2020. I know.
In the summertime,
we put out Fadeaway, and when we were planning the release for Fadeaway, I kind of got with the guys and I was like, hey, look, we kind of need to try something a little different. Let's try a different route. Let's see if we can get somewhere else. You know, no point taking the same path if you know where it ends.
Right.
So we just started trying different stuff, put out Fadeaway, and we got some decent feedback on it. So going forward, we kind of knew that was our starting point. Don't fall back. So after that, we kind of started branching out. That's when I ended up talking to Coco. We were friends on Facebook, and we just kind of started messaging about, I think he had a Slipknot shirt, and I was telling him I liked his shirt, and that's kind of how the whole conversation started.
Oh, wow.
And that's how we got in with him.
Oh, okay.
And
so y'all didn't know him from back in the day, really?
No.
Oh, okay, cool.
No, so, and that's, you know, with his help, it's just been, it's been up from there.
Was that last year in 2020?
That was 2021. That was
earlier this year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's still pretty new. Trauma Cell is the first song we put out with him.
Oh, okay.
Helping us out, you know, producing, co-writing, stuff like that, and it's been an awesome experience.
So Coco's Raymond.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, yeah. I get it now. Really, let's talk about Fadeaway for a little bit, because, like I said, I think that's what really kind of turned me on to the band, and I was like, yeah, these guys. Okay, I remember when Izzy sent me the track. I was like, okay, they got my attention. You got my attention. Great track, and I remember you guys released the visualizer, the video with the single. Great heavy track, man. How do you describe what you're delivering musically on that track? How would you best describe it?
That one, it kind of came, I don't want to say out of the blue, because that was part of the arsenal that we had with the previous producer we were working with, and it was all great stuff, but it was just kind of getting to a point where we wanted to try something different and just see if we can get somewhere else. But it was a weird mix of, we were really trying to incorporate a lot of electronic vibe to it, a little bit more on the industrial side. We were just trying to see, you know, how far outfield we can go without it being too weird and like, okay, it doesn't make sense. So that's kind of where that started coming from. I know the instrumental side of things, Izzy had, you know, full reins on that for the most part. So if you want to put something in on it.
Yeah. As far as the instrumental goes, I mean, me and Kevin just kind of had fun with it. Was that the first one we used a whammy? No, I think that was Victim, right?
I think it was Victim.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we like getting different pedals, different stuff like that, just having fun with it. With Fadeaway, I mean, that was just kind of me just having fun on guitar. It was just something like we just wanted to be bouncy, wanted to be heavy.
Yeah,
but at
I
the
liked
same
it.
time, we also wanted to start going in that direction of that industrial and like almost like electronic sound.
Sure.
Like that you hear in like Trauma Cell, and then I know we showed you some
Yeah.
other stuff.
Yeah.
So like I remember us having that conversation and saying, hey, this can be the starting point, and the stuff that we did in the past, let's go ahead and just scratch that. This is the starting point of Bad Blood. And like going back to your other question where you were talking about when they really start, it started with Fadeaway. Like that was where we sat down, we said like, this is where we're going to start. And it wasn't the finish line yet, and we still haven't reached the finish line. We're still on that path. But it was where we started to have fun. We started experimenting. We're like, we're going to do this, and we want to be happy with what we're doing at the end of the day. So that was that first song that made that happen impossible.
Yeah. And it's a pretty deep song too, man, lyrically, right?
Yeah.
Share a little bit about that.
It's kind of like a, I don't want to say a real personal thing, but obviously every lyric is personal to somebody. But it was kind of a more looking back on a dark point I was at one point in time. And it was just, it's kind of, when I write stuff, it's more of a, that's me getting over it. That's me kind of letting go and saying, all right, cool.
Kind of
that's
reflecting a little bit.
a little bit of reflection, a little bit of just, okay, that's my closure. Exactly.
You're like, damn, I was crazy.
Yeah. And I listen to it now. We were listening to it earlier, and I was like, man, I haven't honestly listened to the song in a little while.
Maybe that's why.
And because I was listening to it and thinking, wow, what was going on up there? But it is what it is. Life happens.
That's great, man. I mean, I think artists put out some of their best shit when they're in those kind of traumatic states.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
I love that song, man. And what do you kind of feel the reception's been now since it's been out for a little bit?
It was decent. I thought it was not what we needed as far as a release, but it definitely was a step in the right direction for us as far as knowing how to release music. It's not just put a song and go from there. We got a lot of interaction out of it personally, all of us. A lot of planning went into it, and the reactions we got from it were really good. It was a lot of really positive feedback that we got personally. We had people messaging us and telling us, hey, like, I really, really love that track. It was so good, because it was kind of like we put out, like Izzy said, like that was the beginning for us. We had other songs we released before then, but for whatever reason, this was the song that was like, you guys are a band, and it was like this was good.
Where can people get that? Where can people get that track?
Everywhere. It's
everywhere
on all major platforms. It's
nice.
The visualizers on YouTube as well.
Yeah. All right, killer, man, killer. And then in July you released Trauma Cell. So let's talk about that track. Another kind of killer track. And what I really liked about this one is that you kind of did like a real kind of video for it.
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about that. It was like a performance kind of video.
Yes. Shout out to Bad Mantra for helping us out with that video. Mr. Brandon. He's an amazing director, producer. He's great to work with.
Is he from San Antonio?
He's from everywhere.
Okay.
He was in San Antonio, Austin, Corpus. I don't know where he's actually from,
but
he's Texas based.
Sure.
But we knew after we tracked it with Coco, we kind of sat down and said, this is a banger. Like, we need to make sure this, we release it with some justice,
Right.
So we got a hold of Brandon and said, hey, we have this song. We want to record a video. Let's do it. And we sent it to him, and he was just like, holy shit, yeah, like, let's do a video. And me and him were just kind of bouncing around ideas for the video, storyline, stuff like that. And the final outcome was just, it was everything I imagined and more. It was awesome. It was so cool to see.
Did y'all shoot it here in San Antonio?
It was actually shot in Austin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a studio that I think he rents in Austin, but it was amazing. The whole experience, from tracking the song itself to recording the video to releasing, everything has just been great. And now we're here with you, so it's just been
that
positive
video was, like,
vibes. Thank you.
Yeah, I loved how you guys.
Be a good actor.
I love how you threw down. I was about to say that. You threw down really good in it, man. It looks legit. So you guys released the Trauma Soul video in July. Came out killer. I loved it. You talked about we were talking about Coco and who's Ramon Villarreal at Dark Tone Audio. And you guys, even before we started talking this evening, had kind of alluded to the fact that he kind of has really contributed and kind of helped you guys kind of, I guess, kind of streamline a little bit about what you were doing and your vision for the band. What has he kind of contributed and helped you guys? How has he done that?
Honestly, I think it's just based on sheer experience. He's been around a lot of music in his career, especially now producing music. I can only imagine how much music he actually hears on a daily basis.
Sure.
But I remember when we first started talking to each other, he was kind of like, Fadeaway was dope. It was awesome. I know where you're going, and I feel like, we can really top that. We can get to the next level. So we talked to the guys and said, hey, look, I think this is gonna be our next step. Like, let's see if we can push it a little harder this time. And he has ideas that we wouldn't have thought of.
Sure.
Just because he is so in touch with so many different, I guess, musical artists, different scenes. So he kind of has his ears full of a little bit of everything. So he brings like points of views that we wouldn't have normally. So we would put out an idea, and he would say, no, I think maybe something like this, or.
And obviously, you guys trust him too.
Very much. And it's just kind of it just gives us another set of ears. That's
sure.
And he's a joy to work with. He's awesome. He's such a cool guy. We go and we hang out for the whole weekend over there when we track.
Wow.
And we just have a great time. That's what it is. The first day we get there to the studio is really just hanging out, just relaxing, building unwinding, rapport, get the creative juices flowing a little bit, and we just start bouncing ideas, and it just works out, I think, hopefully.
Once that lap comes on, bro.
Yeah.
Just to elaborate on that too, though, what I love about Coco is he does not bullshit. Like, he'll tell you straight up, like, I don't believe you, and like, that's cool. And I think that's what made Bad Blood was what we are and what we are to this day and what we've established already. It's believable because it's who we are as people. And that's what I love about Coco. He'll literally tell you. He'll literally say something like, or says Zach has this crazy thing or whatever. And he'll tell you, you need to sell it. Like, it needs to be believable. And that's what I love about Coco.
Sure.
Because he'll tell you straight up, like, I don't believe you. And I'm like, oh, man, that's as simple as it sounds. It means a lot.
You know why? Because if it's believable, it's achievable.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's great. That's great, man. You kind of need that positivity and that vibe to kind of push you, because sometimes I think, as artists, sometimes you get a little too close to the painting, or sometimes you kind of don't have the confidence that you need. You need that kind of third party to tell you, yeah, man, you're doing it right. It's good. Yeah.
That's his big thing too, is like, he can tell if I'm going in to track vocals one day, and if he senses like some kind of me not being confident, he's like, hey, whoa, stop. Like, don't even walk up to the mic. Get your shit together and come back and knock it out, nail it, So he helps us out a lot. He pushes us. He's kind of hard, but that's what we need.
He's like, good. I only got 300 gigs.
Yeah, he's like, make it worth it, guys.
One.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God.
Share a story. You got a story?
Wow.
Okay.
We were supposed to film a drum playthrough for Trauma. Our drummer Julian we were going into the studio to record another track with Coco, and said, hey, why don't you knock it out while you're here?
Sure,
I'll set up my kit. And I don't know, I guess maybe Coco, being a drummer and a very, very, very talented drummer, maybe made Julian nervous. I don't know. But when he set up the kit to play, the look on Coco's face, he just like shook his head around, and like, I still have the videos because I cannot delete them, but it was just such like I'm not mad, I'm disappointed, and Julian just walked around the rest of the day with his head down, and it was just the funniest thing ever.
Wow.
Julian is an amazing drummer, by the way. That story does not do him justice. I just want to throw that out there.
No, he's a great drummer. He just I don't know what happened. Cold
He
feet or
probably
something.
just got nervous because everybody was going to be looking at him and
Yeah.
and videotaping
Yes,
him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure, man. That's a lot of pressure. Cool story. All right. So we were talking, and thank you guys so much for sharing some of your new music with me tonight. It's fucking fire too.
Thank you.
That's all I can say, and I don't want to give away too much because I know you guys have that in the pipeline for later this year. So you shared a couple of tracks with me tonight, and before we start kind of talking about when those tracks are going to come out, are you guys like always writing music at this time? Are these tracks kind of tracks that you had that you worked on with Coco, or talk a little bit about these tracks and how you're writing?
We're kind of always writing. I know Izzy and Coco are constantly writing, sending stuff back and forth to each other for whenever our studio day does come. You know, we usually have something ready to go, but all of us are constantly in contact with each other. So it's always like, hey, I got this idea. You know, we'll send a file, this and that. I'm always writing lyrics just because stuff pops in my head and I can't get it out, so I write it down.
Sure.
But I know Izzy's always writing. Izzy eats, bleeds, and pees music.
That's great.
Everything, every every instrument you can think of, he plays. So there's always music going on in his head. So he wants to elaborate.
Yeah, I mean, like he said, I try to write as much as I can. I mean, I am a business owner as well, so sometimes my time gets a little shortened. But
sure.
It's those late nights, where I can sit down with the guitar, I can sit down with the bass, I can think of some drum ideas, and then get everything started. It gets brewed. I send it over to Coco. Hey, man, what do you think of this? Should I keep going? Because what I'll do is sometimes I will just keep writing 30-second songs, like 10, 30-second songs.
Just get that main riff down.
Yeah, like, hey, this is one idea, this is another idea, and they all have potential to go somewhere. Hey, no, I like this one more. Or like, hey, continue with this one, and we just go from there. Because at the same time, like I said, I write so much music. I actually I ghostwrite for people. I do lyrics. I'm a singer as well. So I'm in the pot a lot, So at the same time, when I'm working with Coco, it's nice for him to actually be honest with me and say, like, let's not use that. Let's do something else. Because when you're doing so much of it, like you said, it's nice to have, step away from the picture and come back to it.
Don't be giving away your best shit, though. Don't be selling your best shit.
No.
Keep it for the band.
I got a lot of good shit in there.
Good. That's great, man. I think I jumped a little too far ahead. We're kind of all over the place. But Trauma Cell, too, another kind of track, Zach, that I kind of felt had a strong message with that, too. Talk a little bit about that really quick.
Well, lyrically, it kind of came from a point of more or less understanding that you aren't good for anyone around you because you're, I guess, damaged in a sense. And it's just kind of that realization. Kind of came from a point like in my childhood where, you grow up in a certain environment. It kind of affects you for the rest of your life. So it's just kind of that, like, I'm stuck here. This is what it is. This is what's going on in my head, and there's really nothing I can do about it. And again, everything I write is kind of like my closure. It's like from certain standpoints of my life that I'm trying to get past. So I put it down on paper and get it out of there.
I think that's the first step to like recovery, is like you realizing the fact that
definitely.
We all have scars, man.
Yeah, definitely.
We all have scars. That's great. I like that, and I think. And the reason I've kind of asked you lyrically about these tracks is because I think, too, fans love the heaviness, but they also have the lyrics have to resonate with them. And, I think we all, especially in this day and age, we all suffer a little bit in our own way with whether it's family or career or whatever, relationships, but or our childhood. But, I think the fact that, there comes a point where you have to come to grips with it and then just kind of fucking move on,
Definitely.
I'm glad to see that you've done that, man. And I'm, I kind of feel you, in a lot of ways. So I'm happy and that you have Bad Blood to kind of help you kind of through that journey,
Yeah.
So these new tracks, when Trauma Cell came out in the summer, so when can we expect a new track from Bad Blood? Or when would you like a new track out?
We are working on a release plan right now. I think our next track is going to be coming out in September. And it's actually going to be featuring...
it's going to be September next week, right?
Sometime in September.
Okay.
We'll leave it at that. Featuring a really cool artist by the name of Monde.
Yeah.
Who's a Mexican-American artist, does a lot of really cool rage metal, trap metal,
Bilingual.
bilingual
Wow, that's
artists.
cool.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah.
So we're really excited for that. That's going to be coming out soon. We're working on that one right now.
And we don't have a name for that track yet.
That one, I think, actually does have a name.
Oh, okay. Share
that,
it.
That
share it.
one's Hate Me is what it's
Oh,
called.
yeah, that's right. You told me. Hate Me.
So that one's coming out. We're grinding, man.
That
we're
one still
just-
needs to be mastered, though.
That one we're working on a master. Yeah.
Should be coming out soon.
Yeah.
Who does the Coco doesn't do the mastering, does he?
Yes.
Oh, he does.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
Yeah, Coco's 360, our guy. Yeah. But so that's for that one. But we're constantly grinding, so we have a lot of stuff in the works. We don't want to stop. Basically, is
Oh.
our goal is to just have enough in our pockets, so where we don't come to a spot where it's like, well, damn, it's been a while. They haven't put anything out.
Sure.
So, but we also don't want to just put out a bunch of crap. We work pretty hard to make sure it's decent.
I think that's a great segue into my next question because I was asking you earlier, if you guys had released, like an EP or a full length back in the beginning, and now it kind of seems more prevalent that bands are releasing kind of singles periodically throughout the year to kind of help keep the name and the band's relevance out in the marketplace. It kind of seems like that's kind of the route you guys are taking.
Yeah. At the moment, it's just we're kind of focusing on the singles. We're still really trying to find our sound. So we kind of don't want to dive completely in and commit to an EP if it's not going to be what Bad Blood actually is. We're still trying to figure out our actual sound. As weird as it sounds, as much as we've been through already, we're still trying to figure it out. But we're going to keep going and hopefully soon put out an EP.
If someone asked me, I don't think I would know what to say either. I would just say, here, check it out. You're going to love it.
Yeah, like
you're going to like
it.
it.
It's kind of hard. It's hard to describe it, but we want to be different, but we want to be sellable, I guess. We want to resonate well with people. We don't want to be too weird or crazy to where people are like, hey, that doesn't work.
As long as you can get people moving, I think that's a good thing. And your tracks get people like, I listen to your music and I'm like, I'm in front of my computer like, it's fucking killer. Yeah, I'm moving my head. I love it. So I mean, as long as people can do that, I think you're off to in a good direction. Killer. So and then eventually we're gonna see the other track come out hopefully later this year.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk now about shows.
Okay.
You guys are telling me you haven't played a show yet.
As a band,
Bad Blood.
We kind of formed right when the pandemic started. So any thought of us playing shows was kind of short-lived because it was like everything shut down. Right now,
are you ready?
I think we're ready. We're definitely ready, but we're also
we're ready.
We're waiting for the right time.
Tell me, Izzy, are you ready to do a show? I mean, do you want to do a show?
I mean, we're itching to play a show. Like, well, just because, like I said, Julian, we actually our last show was with Lights Like Autumn. Actually, me and Julian had a project before this one, and then Zach's. When was your last show?
I want to say in 2019, I think, in Houston with Mirror Lake.
Yeah, so I mean, as far as
it's been a while.
Good. Yeah, we know we're good. We know that our stage presence is going to be great, and that's the other thing that we're working on because we don't want to be that band that just plays music on stage. We want to give you guys a show,
a performance,
and that's what it's going to be about. It's going to be in the performance. I mean.
You get it, man. You get it.
Isaac knows. I mean, even him on his rap stuff. I mean, we're all just itching to get on stage. Like, I know.
For sure. Yeah.
You want to say something about that?
About what?
Just getting on stage again?
Nah, yeah, I'm ready for it. I mean, a lot of shows like I was supposed to do got postponed, so that sucks.
Sure.
But it happens.
So, have you looked into booking a show maybe for later this year, or you want to wait till 2022?
I think we want to wait till we got maybe like one or two more songs in the bag. We're just trying to stay ahead of the curve pretty much. Mainly, and just kind of to elaborate on the whole single, the way we release them as singles. We also do that just because I think people get bored, People get bored. If we released the EP, it would have been like one whole thing where they can listen to it all. When we release singles, we can almost kind of keep them on that line a little bit.
You kind of blow your wad really quick, and then what do you got? Yeah. Exactly. I hear you. I talk to a lot of bands, and it's so weird because I meet a lot of bands who think like you, and then I meet bands who think the opposite.
Right.
And no, we want to do an EP. No, we want to do a full length, and they have their own reasons. But over this past year and just how our society and how the music scene has changed, and now the fans, the young fans who listen to music, heavy music, and how they want their music. It's like, yeah, man, you release a single and like, yeah, I'm gonna download it, I'm gonna buy it for $1.29 or 99 cents and jam it, and then I loved it. Oh, okay, you got another one, I want to buy that one too. So I think you're right. I think your strategy is good, and I would probably have a tendency now if I was in a band to say, yeah, let's just release singles and keep our name out there. And there's many big bands too, like Machine Head it comes to mind, because they've been doing that. I think recently they released like a 2 or 3 song like little single thing. They didn't even call it an EP, even though it was 3 songs. They just said we're releasing 3 singles at one time. But yeah, it keeps you relevant, especially with how fast things and how fast people process and
they process it and then move on.
Yeah,
that's the thing. So that's why we try to stay like right now we're 2 songs ahead. You guys don't know yet, but we got 2 songs, and then we're going to this. I think we're going back to the studio.
And you're like, we're good for the rest of the year, man.
Yeah.
We always try and keep one in the chamber.
Sure.
So, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like singles are good because you hear something and then it kind of has them like, I guess, wanting to hear more. And then they're kind of waiting for it. So when it does drop, everybody could go at once to go check it out.
Yeah, and it keeps stuff like to feed on your social media outlets and stuff like that. That's great.
Keeps it fresh.
That's great. Well, I look forward to you guys playing a show. I'll be there.
You'll be the first one to hear about it.
Yeah, I want to know, Zach. So you let me know.
The first one.
And I want to be out there and shoot it and check it out.
Yeah.
And see you guys throw down.
It'll be big. We'll make it big for the first one. It'll be theatrical.
All right. I love the songs. And guys, as we get near the end of this interview, just a couple more things. First of all, you guys have kind of been, around San Antonio and been working with different people in the southwest region of Texas. So we were talking tonight, about kind of the history of SA Metal and all these bands that we love and new bands that are coming out. How do you kind of feel? Izzy, you kind of alluded to it earlier too, about how you kind of, or I think maybe Isaac said, it's coming back. There was a slump there where we kind of felt that we were in a slump, but now we're kind of seeing a resurgence.
Yeah, I mean, the history here in San Antonio is rich, when it comes to metal music. At the same time, we appreciate it, but at the same time, being artists ourselves, we kind of put blinders on.
Sure.
If we're looking at everybody else and seeing what they're doing, we don't really focus on what we're doing.
Sure.
What we're capable of doing. So at the same time, we have love for everybody in San Antonio. At the same aspect, we want to focus directly ahead in what we need to do, so that we're not directly competing with everybody else.
Sure.
So, yeah.
And so do you kind of feel like, as far as the clubs, I mean, are they being kind of receptive and been working? I think now, it's like a handful of clubs in San Antonio that really have kind of kept us alive.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate to see some of them like that we grew up with go, but it's nice to see the other ones kind of take its place. And I think with COVID, I think there's going to be I think we already had discussed it last time where I was like, I think there's going to be a revamp in the music scene just because everybody wants to be back out there again. Everybody wants to hear live music. I mean, we do things for digital so much. I mean, everything went digital for a while.
Sure.
I think COVID was kind of like we took a step back, and we, as like human beings, we crave interaction. I mean, just like this,
Sure.
we want to be around other people and kind of have that camaraderie with other people too as well. So I think the music scene is going to kind of come back to like a full, to its full potential like it did before. And I really see that. I mean, there's a lot of good bands out there in San Antonio. Like I said, we have a lot of love for them, but at the same time, we still focus on ourselves.
Do you feel scared or apprehensive about the return of COVID and what we're seeing now happening with COVID? I mean, it seems to me, every time I pull up, the news, that I see something bad. I just saw the other day, I think it was like Wednesday, we recorded like the second highest number of deaths in San Antonio since the beginning of the pandemic. And, the beginning of the pandemic was in March of 20, and this just happened last week. So it's kind of scary.
I think it is. It's definitely something that we're aware of. It's something that we're going to be taking the precautions for, especially once we start doing shows. We're going to make sure that everybody's healthy. We're going to try to do what we can in our power to make sure that we're as safe as possible. I mean, not just for us, but for the fans that are going to come out for us.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, it's going to be something that it's here, it's real, it's in your face. It's not something that is, it's a reality, So we're going to have to just learn how to deal with it. And like I said, it's just kind of taking day by day.
Yeah.
With the CDC, whatever they come out with,
Sure.
We try to follow the guidelines as much as possible. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's here, and it's just like a new way of living that we're going to have to figure out. So I can't tell you the real answer right now, but I think day by day with the new findings and everything, we'll get there.
Following the guidelines, you still could catch it. So
Sure.
I don't know. I just feel like anybody, like, you're gonna catch it eventually in my eyes. So I'm just trying to live fearful or fearless. Yeah, I'm scared, man.
Yeah. It came out.
I'm scared as shit.
Real scared.
That's what I tell my students too, man. I said, look, this is how it is now. Who the fuck knows how it's gonna be in 2 months from now?
Yeah.
Shit can change.
It's just
Exactly.
life now.
It's just part of life.
Yeah, like I said, that's why I say I was like, we're aware of it. We're gonna take every precautions that we can, but like it's something that we have to figure it out. I mean, I don't think there's a actual guideline that's gonna work for anybody really per se. Things might work for certain bands, and things might work for certain, I guess, buildings or wherever you guys are. Schools, and this is all different guidelines. I think we're just gonna have to figure out what works for us and do the best that we can. At the end of the day, it's here, and it seems like it's here to stay. So
I think so.
we're just got to go with the flow.
Would you guys like to do shows, like, and travel to other cities and do shows? Is that something you've thought about, or
Oh, yeah,
want to do it,
definitely.
like go to Houston and do shows?
Oh yeah, definitely. We want to branch out as much as possible, definitely, and just reach as many people as we can. I think we do have a decent message behind the music we put out, so it would be cool to branch out and meet people from other cities and stuff. As much as we love San Antonio and being in the Texas area, all over Houston, Austin, San Antonio, Corpus, but we definitely do want to branch out and just see where we can go, see how far we really can go with this,
Sure. A big part of that too is kind of like, and I love what Izzy says when he says, I'm a businessman, and you got to take care of the back end stuff of the music's, business, because you guys have great songs, but you got to take care of the back end and market and promote correctly, and also really just not spin your wheels and waste your time.
Yeah, definitely.
So hopefully, I'd love to see you guys get a publicist and really kind of, spread what you guys are doing across the country, not just within our own region. And I think you guys, honestly, I'll say this, I really think that Fadeaway and Trauma Cell are so good that you guys could do that. I really do.
Definitely.
And if you want some information for some people who do that, some of these independent publicists that we were talking about, I can share that information with you.
For sure.
You'd have to sacrifice a little bit, but it's so worth it, man, because all these people are networked and all over the country, and they all know each other too. So good stuff, man. I anticipate great things as the year progresses for you guys. I'm so happy to have had the opportunity to have you on Rob's MetalWorks. And as we end out, I want you guys to pass the mic around and just share any last words, anything that I missed, anything I should have talked about, any message for the fans or family and friends who support Bad Blood, anything you want to share. This is your chance. So go ahead. Zach, you start.
I think the only thing I would say is, like, we definitely appreciate all the support we've gotten in the previous music we've released, then deleted, and now the new stuff that we're putting out. It's been great. Like I said, started getting connected with some really awesome people, and it led us here with you. It's a great honor to be here with you.
Thank you.
We love the show. We've always been fans of the show. And it's just, it's going good right now. So we're very appreciative of everything that we have at the moment. So thank you, everybody.
Just like he said, I mean, we want to thank everybody that's already listened to our stuff, the supporters, the people that are just willing to work with us, like you yourself right there. We really appreciate it. It's an honor to be here. Same thing with Coco, for him to even be able to reach out to us, and also, just willing to take us on as a client. I think that goes a long way, especially once you start getting to know him and his character. I think him seeing something in us is huge.
I think what you said earlier too was big, because he said you were like, okay, hey man, you check out my stuff.
Yeah.
And then when he heard it, he was like, oh, yeah, I want to work with you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, too, is I kind of felt like, yeah, that's me, too. Like, I want to work with bands that I dig, that I'm a fan of, that I can connect with their shit. And that's why I wanted to interview you guys, because I connect with your music, and I'm sure Coco felt the same way. And so while we're working here tonight, it's not like work, it's because I'm a fan and I love it. I'm sure he feels the same way, too.
Yeah, we have really good times when we're there. I would say like we're very family orientated.
Sure.
So it's like having him there, and I mean, what I love about him too, he's very family orientated. So, I mean, there's times we go out there, their family's having a cookout, we're sitting with his family and we're eating.
Hook me up with a taco.
Bro, they gave us quesadillas last night. It was so good.
Isaac, you were all up on that shit, weren't you?
Yeah, but we're very happy for the reception that we've had so far, and at the end of the day, it's about, like, even when I messaged you, I wasn't just trying to throw something in your face. I'm trying to build personal relationships.
Sure.
And,
that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think that's what it's all about. And like I said, just thank you to everybody that supported us so far. And we got a lot to give. And I think you haven't heard the last of Bad Blood. There's going to be a lot more to come.
Oh, hell no. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, appreciate you, bro.
Thank you,
It's pretty
Isaac.
cool being here, man. Yeah, aside from the music, I'm pretty excited for the shows. I saw him like playing every weekend at the Rabbit, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
how much older is he than you?
I turned 24 Monday. He's 27.
Yeah.
A little bit, 4
about
years.
4 years, yeah.
4 year gap.
So,
And we didn't say this, but these guys are brothers. I didn't know. I didn't know you wanted to keep it on the DL.
They look nothing alike.
but yeah, I mean, it'll be cool to rock out with him on stage for once.
That's cool, man.
I mean, we've done it before, but not like in a cool way. Like,
Now with some kick-ass tunes.
yeah, but other than that, yeah, just thank you to everybody. It's cool being a part of this, and
Yeah.
it's a cool experience.
And if you fuckers out there see me with a grill, it's because of these motherfuckers right here. Because I want to look cool like them. Look at how cool they look.
Shout out Rick G.
Rick G, give me a discount because I'm promoting you, baby.
Rick G's Grills got us looking good.
I can find Rick G on Facebook?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I got to look you up, Rick
We'll
G.
send you the link.
Yeah, hook me up. I want a silver one, man.
Yeah,
I
we
think
got
it's
you.
silver. I've never been gold, but silver.
We got you.
Guys, thank you so much. What a pleasure. Really, again, I'm a fucking fan. I listen to your tracks all the time. And Izzy, don't forget to send me the MP3s. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. We
What an
appreciate
honor
it.
and a pleasure. And I know that things are only going to get bigger and better for you guys once people start jumping on board and really learning about the band. Sometimes it just takes, the right time and the right place for people to listen to your shit, and they're on board and fans, just like me. So all you people out there tonight, right after you finish watching this interview, be sure to look for the 2 singles that are out from Bad Blood. They're called Trauma Cell and Fadeaway. You can look them up on YouTube, buy the tracks, download the tracks right now on iTunes and all music media outlets out there. You saw the band only right here on Rob's MetalWorks.